Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Niket Karunaratne.
And I'm Dilanjali Anand, and these are the top stories for tonight.
The Department of Inland Revenue informs taxpayers to make their final income tax payments for the year 2023-2024 prior to the 30th of this month. The Prime Minister says that the education system should be reorganized. Massive crowds at the Colombo International Book Fair today as well. The draft on the national policy on children's books has been unveiled. VIP protection of former parliamentarians has been withdrawn. Mill owners agree to issue rice at the government guaranteed price. The Polgolla reservoir is being emptied. Former Minister Kumar Velgamar passes away. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah has been assassinated.
Now for those and other stories in detail. The Inland Revenue Department has issued a reminder urging all taxpayers to make their final income tax payments for the year of assessment 2023-2024 on or before 30th September 2024. Unpaid default taxes beyond this date will face rigorous collection measures, including legal action under the Inland Revenue Act. Failing to meet this deadline may result in penalties and interest charges, which will not be waived or reduced. Taxpayers with outstanding default taxes are also reminded to clear these dues by October 30th, 2024. If there are any tax arrears after this date, they would be dealt through legal action according to the Inland Revenue Act in order to recover the dues. For further assistance, taxpayers can to the hotline 1944 or visit their nearest Inland Revenue Regional Office.
Now, Hezbollah has confirmed the death of its leader Hassan Nasrallah after Israeli strikes on Beirut. Nasrallah, who had not been seen in public for years because of fears of being assassinated by Israel, was one of the best known and most influential figures in the Middle East. In a statement released just moments ago, Hezbollah says its leader Hassan Nasrallah is dead. In a statement by the Israel Defense Forces, it said he was killed in a targeted strike alongside other senior members of the Lebanon-based group, including Al-Karaki, the commander of Hezbollah's southern front. Israel Defense Forces say the strike was carried out on the militant group's central headquarters in Dahieh, a Hezbollah stronghold in southern Beirut. Meanwhile, airstrikes continue in southern Beirut as foreign media captures thick smoke rising over several locations in the area. The Israeli military says that it is attacking targets in the Bekaa Valley after detecting a rocket fired from Lebanon.
Now, as we bring the latest developments of the Israeli conflict with the Iran-backed Hezbollah, today's Israeli strike on Hezbollah leader is a major escalation. And to talk more on this, we are joined by senior news analyst Mr. Prasad Dodangodage. Welcome on board, sir. Thank you very much for joining. And sir, if you can please share your insights on the latest development or the position of Hezbollah.
Yes, now it's a major blow for Hezbollah. There's no question about it, because the Hezbollah leader Nasrallah is perished, and along with several other key military figures such as the head of the rocket firing division. So, and at the same time, this is not the first blow that Israel dealt to Hezbollah. The clashes between the two parties, Hezbollah and Israel, they were continuing since 8th of last month, August 8th. Israel carried out multiple attacks on Hezbollah positions. At the same time, they carried out various covert operations, like the exploding of the transmission system, pages. They have exploded all 3,000 pages used by Hezbollah guerrilla members. Then on the second day, they have destroyed the walkie-talkie system. With that, they inflicted casualties on Hezbollah, as well as they totally damaged the communication system of Hezbollah. Then after that, relentlessly Israel attacked. They used air power to neutralize various Hezbollah positions in the southern Lebanon, including the Bekaa Valley. So yesterday's attack was the climax of this series. They have so we can clearly see with all these developments, Tulanjali, Israel is very secretly squeezed into the Hezbollah system. They had all kind of information regarding Hezbollah. That's why they were able to mount such a precise series of attacks. So death of Nasrallah is a major blow, because Nasrallah was the key figure behind the war against Israel mounted by Hezbollah guerrilla organization, and under his leadership the Hezbollah organization developed militarily. Their military capability was increased under his leadership with the support of their main sponsor Iran. They increased their force up to 100,000, the manpower. Then they had a system of sophisticated rockets that could attack northern Israel. At the same time, they were kind of a tactical ground force also. That was proved during the 2006 invasion by Israel of southern Lebanon. They carried out, we call it 2006 July invasion by Israel. During that invasion, Hezbollah mounted surprise attacks on advancing Israel forces. So at that time, Israel realized that Hezbollah is a major power, and they had a military capability than they estimated. So after that, all these years, Israel was secretly working on Hezbollah, and now we can see the results. However, we can't say that the Hezbollah organization is totally perished due to this situation. Now they have appointed a new leader, not really appointed, but there are some tips saying that a senior leader, Hashem Zaivuddin, has been tipped to appointed, and he survived these attacks, and his location is totally secret. However, now Hezbollah is trying to regroup under leadership of Hashemi. That's what we see regarding Hezbollah at this moment.
Okay, so
Thank you very much, Mr. Prasad, for joining us, and we'll be bringing the latest updates on the next news bulletin. And moving on with other news. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that a prominent responsibility of the government is to free the education system from politicizing or politicization and to inculcate public confidence on education.
the Prime Minister has made these remarks participating in a workshop at Ananda College in Colombo today. She has pointed out the need to restructure the education system to mould a virtuous society without it being restricted to a mere source of employment. The workshop was conducted with the participation of 396 principals of national schools island-wide. It has been pointed out that conducting of a workshop of this nature after a lapse of 5 years was a noticeable achievement. The meeting had focused attention on several issues including school financial management, construction and repairing, and several other factors identified in the monitoring of national schools. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that education has to be reformed in a manner to enhance the confidence of students and their parents on school education. She further said they would be compelled to engage in necessary restructuring and to create the relevant changes. The quality of education is a mandatory factor. The inequalities that exist between schools would have to be eliminated. The Prime Minister further said there is a policy which stipulates that 6% of the gross domestic product should be reserved for education development. However, within the existing economic crisis, the educational development process cannot be carried forward at once. This is a systematic procedure with specific targets. She further said that they are currently in the process of planning the program. The budget would focus a special attention on education. Prime Minister Dr. Amarasuriya also said they are bound by the responsibility to make the necessary changes through the financial perspective. Currently, the burden of educating children lies upon the parents. She further said that the parents should be relieved from this burden. Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Tilaka Jayasundara, and Director of National Schools, Hasini Thalagalda, have also attended the event.
President Andhra Kumara Dissanayake visited the Colombo book exhibition held at BMICH, and he was warmly welcomed by the general public on this occasion. The President inspected several local and foreign book stalls among the 400 bookstores at the exhibition. Thereafter, the President was seen engaging in a friendly discussion with the visitors. President of the Sri Lanka Book Publishers Association, Samantha Indivara, has presented the draft of the National Policy on Children's Books to President Andhra Kumara Dissanayake on this occasion. Readers who arrive at the book exhibition are being accorded the opportunity to gain access to the documentary programs, cartoons, movies as well as Nana Mihira Scholarship magazine at exceptional discounts in Ru Entertainment's sales outlet of the national television in the exhibition premises.
Now, Senior Attorney at Law J.M. Vijay Bandara has been appointed as the Director General of Legal Affairs at the President's Office. He was appointed by President Andhra Kumara Dissanayake. President Secretary Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumar Nayaka has handed over the letter of appointment to senior lawyer J.M. Vijay Bandara yesterday. The new legal director general is an old boy of Ananda College, Colombo, and pursued higher education at the Colombo University and the Open University. He has also functioned as a lecturer at the Colombo Law Faculty. The Gazette notification relating to allocation of subject matter pertaining to relevant institutions and ministers in the new ministries was issued yesterday. Further details in this connection could be obtained from the Rupavahini website. Now, paddy mill owners have agreed to issue rice at the guaranteed price by the government. Entrepreneur Dudley Sirisena has disclosed this fact at a media briefing today. Dudley Sirisena said in order to give strength and to extend support to the program being conducted by the President in the country, they have decided to subject all types of rice under a controlled price with effect from today. He further said that they have discussed on the issue with Siripala Gamlap, an owner of the Nipuna business Mitrapala, the New Lanka head, and they have all agreed with the decision. Dudley Sirisena has also disclosed the routine which had made it difficult for them to supply rice at a regular price. He has described the issue by stating that when they work hard during the season, the price would go down, and in the next season they work less, which results in an increase of the prices. He has expressed hope in undermining the disparities in the paddy production in the next season and pledged to extend maximum cooperation to the government. The government guaranteed price of rice is 105 rupees, but the payer price of 122 rupees. However, the market price is 220 rupees. Dudley Srisena also said they are not ready to discuss at this moment these prices. What is more important is to commit themselves despite incurring a loss. The entrepreneur also said from today they will be issuing rice to their trader comrades and request them to sell rice at the government guaranteed price. He added that they as well as the farmers would engage in endeavouring incurring losses.
The Mahaweli Authority has taken measures to fully empty the Polgolla reservoir with effect from midnight yesterday. The operation is a maintenance procedure and being conducted after a lapse of 2 years. The waters of the Polgolla reservoir are being released to the Victoria reservoir. Thereafter, the maintenance activities have been scheduled to be conducted today as well as tomorrow. Residents along the Mahaweli River from Polgolla to Victoria reservoir have been informed to remain vigilant. Engineer in charge of the reservoir, Tisara Bandara, says there would not be any water leakage in the tunnel way directing the water flow to the Rajarata as a result of maintenance of the sluice gates system of the reservoir. However, power generation at the Ukuela power station has been suspended. It has also been pointed out that receipt of water to the water purification plants in Polgolla and Visal Mahanuara has become difficult due to the emptying of the reservoir. Around 100,000 families who receive water from the two purification plants have also been informed on the difficulties in obtaining services due to the ongoing operation. Engineer in charge of Bovathana reservoir informs residents living along the Ambanganga to remain extremely vigilant due to the removal of water from the reservoir and another monitoring duty. The Department of Police has taken measures to withdraw the VIP protection granted on parliamentarians, former ministers and state ministers. The police media spokesman says this decision has been taken as the parliament was dissolved. Police media spokesman Senior DIG Nihal Talduwe said that the president had dissolved the parliament on the 24th of this month. He said that protection handed over to former ministers, state ministers, deputy ministers, parliamentarians, provincial council members and former governors have been withdrawn. He added that, however, the protection granted to the Speaker of Parliament, opposition leader and the Deputy Speaker has not been changed by any means.
Former Minister Kumara Velgamar has passed away at the age of 74. His demise has been reported while undergoing treatment at a private hospital in Colombo. Former Minister Kumara Velgamar was the chief organizer of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party in the Agalavatta electorate from 1984 to 2000. He was appointed as the Minister of Industrial Development during the period 2007 to 2010. From the year 2010 to the latter half of the year 2015, he had been functioning as the Minister of Transport in the government of which the SLFP was in coalition. He had remained an SLFP member till the year 2019 and thereafter he formed his own party, Navalanka Nidhas Party. Kumara Velgamar had contested at the 2020 parliamentary election under the Samagijana Balavega headed by Sajit Premadasa and was elected to parliament. The remains of the late minister is scheduled to be kept at his residence in Denniston Estate in Horavala, Mathugama from tomorrow morning. The funeral is scheduled to be conducted at the Mathugama crematorium on the 30th of this month.
Commissioner General of Elections Saman Sri Ratnayaka says 11 billion rupees would be spent to conduct the forthcoming general election. A preliminary discussion regarding the election was held today. The meeting, presided over by Chairman of the Election Commission, RMAL Ratnayaka, was held at the Election Commission with the participation of district secretaries and election staff. The Election Commissioner General said on this occasion that the President's approval has been received for the procurement of necessary funds for the conducting of the election. Commissioner General of Elections, Saman Sri Ratnayaka, said that their estimate is 11 billion rupees for the conducting of the election. He added that they believe that the President has already approved these funds by placing his signature to the document ordering to release the funds. He further said that only the independent groups need to place cash deposits to contest the election. He also said that the acceptance of applications for postal voting will take place from the 1st to the 8th of October. He has requested all prospective postal voter applicants to certify their applications by the respective heads of the institutions and submit them during the period from the 1st to the 8th of next month. The applications should be handed over to the the returning officer in the district in which the applicant had registered for voting. He also said that electoral lists used in the previous election would become valid for the upcoming election as well. Commissioner General of Elections also said there is a possibility in the change in the service location or the head of the institution and requested the postal voting applicants to inform such changes to the relevant authorities. The Printing Workers Union says printing of the ballot papers would commence upon handing over of nominations for the parliamentary election. Secretary Printing Workers Union of the Government Press, Asanka Sandarwan, said that by now the Election Commission is planning the preliminary activities pertaining to the forthcoming poll. He also said that printing of ballot papers would commence on one day after handing over of the nominations, and the election staff is getting ready for this act.
Now, several political parties today have held press conferences to express views on their political activities. Let's have a look. Former Minister Manusha Nanayakkara said that 2.2 million people voted for former President Ranil Wickremesinghe during the last presidential election. He said former President introduced a number of vital reforms in various sectors of the country. Former SLPP parliamentarian Indika Anuruddha said that before the elections there was a popular slogan, the 222 MPs of the parliament are corrupt. He demanded now to take a proper action on those who are corrupt. Former parliamentarian S.P. Dissanayake said that parties who supported former President Ranil Wickremesinghe made a coalition to contest at the upcoming elections. He said that there is no agreement on either party or symbol under which they contest.
Vasantha Samarasinghe of the National People's Power says voters who have not cast their vote for the NPP at the presidential election are now joining hands to elect the party into power at the parliamentary election. He has made these remarks participating in a media briefing in Anuradhapura. Vasantha Samarasinghe of the NPP said that fertilizer subsidy has been increased. In the recent past, incoming visitors to Sri Lanka were unable to process their visas. However, the government has resolved this issue. He further said that they hope to resolve the passport problem also in the near future. The country was moving toward a state of ungovernable situation. However, this has been rectified and people's problems are being addressed. He further said that they are making the necessary programs to direct the country in a proper direction, and the electing of members to the next parliament is of crucial importance to fulfill this objective. He added that those who were unable to join hands to create an NPP victory at the last presidential election are now coming forward to vote for the party. The Sinhala, Tamil and other communities are standing in line with Comrade Anra. They are united to hand over a two-third majority in the next parliament to the NPP. Those who were afraid are now trying to make alliances to gain parliamentary power, but they have no option. The Mali Mawa has proven that they could grant relief to the people.
Now we'll take a look at some more local news items in brief. Senior DIG Priyantha Veerasurya has assumed duties as the Acting Inspector General of Police at the police headquarters last afternoon. A group of senior officials of the police have attended the occasion. Our correspondents say heavy rains have paved the way for overflowing of the Nilvala River and the inundation of the Siyamalanggoda Pitabeddara Road in Akurassa at the Panadugama location. The vehicle transport was completely stalled. Akurassa Dudley Senanayaka Road is being used as an alternate route. It has also been reported that the floodwater level is increasing. The suspected airline passenger from Abu Dhabi has been nabbed with 56 foreign cigarette cartons at the Katunayaka airport this morning. The detection has been made by the Katunayaka airport unit of the Police Narcotic Bureau. An uproar has been created between villages of Udahavara and Korodekumbura in Uwa Paranagama and the Timber Corporation officials over the steps taken by the corporation officials to transport timber logs over a bridge even prior to the strengthening of the newly constructed concrete road. Villagers were engaged in a protest by closing the road.
තව මාස දෙකක් පිරලා නැහැ මේ මාර්ගය. හරි. ඒකට මාත්‍ය අපි වැදලා කියන්නේ අපි මේ විඳපු දුක දන්නේ අපි. කොහොම හරි අපිට මේ මාර්ගය රැක ගන්න ඕනේ. මේ ගෙනියන එකේ සීමාවක් නැහැ.
Pradesh Sabha officials and Divisional Secretariat Division officials in Batticaloa have been successful in controlling a raging fire in a forest nearby. The national television correspondent says the surrounding area has been designated as an environmental protection zone and a bird sanctuary. The World Vision Sri Lanka program titled Ending Hunger of Children has got underway, centering on the Walapane Divisional Secretariat Division in Nuwara yesterday. Methodologies have been introduced on this occasion to examine the nutrition levels of children in 400 selected families and to fulfill their nutritional requirements. The 76-year-old person has died on the spot after being struck by thunder in Udavatta in Hanguranketa last evening. The severe inclement weather has also damaged electricity cable systems in 5 residences. All the affected houses were located above the Victoria and Randanikala reservoirs. Now, the national television is scheduled to telecast Sinhala news in a novel format.
Accordingly, a pre-transmission would take place at 6:55 p.m. with effect from 1st of next month.
Rupavahini ප්‍රවෘත්ති රාත්‍රී 8.
And that's all the news we have from home. Stay tuned for international stories coming up next.
பணத்திற்கு பதிலாக பீப்பிள்ஸ் பேங்க் டெபிட் கார்டில் கொடுப்பனவுகளை மேற்கொள்ளுங்கள். 55 லட்சம் ரூபாய் பெறுமதியான பரிசுகளை வெல்லுங்கள். மாதாந்த சீட்டிழப்பில் 25,000 ரூபாய் பெறுமதியான 150 வவுச்சர்கள். பம்பர் சீட்டிழப்பில் 17 லட்சம் ரூபாய் பெறுமதியான லத்திரனியல் உபகரணங்கள். விரையுங்கள், அதிகம் ஸ்வைப் செய்யுங்கள், டாப் செய்யுங்கள்.
At least 45 people have died and millions have been left without power as Hurricane Helen roared through the southeastern United States. Officials continued daring rescues with boats, helicopters and large vehicles to help those stranded in floodwaters, including about 50 workers and patients who crowded on the roof of a flooded tennis hospital. It was the most powerful storm on record to hit Florida's Big Bend and move north into Georgia and the Carolinas after making landfall overnight. Insurers and financial institutions say damage caused by the storm could run into the billions of dollars.
Introducing Prima Kottumi Korean Ramen.
Let's fire it up.
Now, today was the 3rd day of the 2nd test of the current series between Sri Lanka and New Zealand teams.
At the close of play today, the New Zealand team has scored 199 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in their second innings. Accordingly, the team needs to collect another 315 runs for victory. Sri Lanka in their first innings has scored a mammoth 602 runs. The match is being played at the Galle International Cricket Stadium. When the play commenced this morning, New Zealand were at 22 runs for the loss of 2 wickets. The overnight batsmen were Kane Williamson and Ajaz Patel. The New Zealand team's first wicket fell. Kane Williamson was dismissed for 7 runs. Thereafter, Rachin Ravindra was out for 10 runs. Ajaz Patel was also dismissed for 8 runs and Tom Blundell managed to score only a single run. The Sri Lankan bowlers have been successful in capturing the first 9 wickets of the New Zealand team for 68 runs. A noticeable feature has been only 3 New Zealand players being able to go beyond the 10-run limit. Now, Michael Santner hit 29. The New Zealand first innings score was restricted to 88 runs. Prabhat Jayasuriya had a magnificent bowling spell of having 6 wickets. This was the 9th occasion of him exceeding the 5-wicket haul in a test inning. Nishan Piris also took 3 wickets. The New Zealanders had commenced their second innings with a follow-on of 514 runs to avert an innings defeat. The Kiwi openers in the second innings were Tom Latham and Devon Conway. Lavin was out for no score, but Devon Conway and Kane Williamson had built a 97-run relationship for the second wicket. Conway was out for 61 runs and Williamson for 46. The first 5 New Zealand wickets were dismissed for 121 runs.
Beautifully bowled, the speed.
Introducing Prima Kothmir Korean Ramen.
Let's fire it up.
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.